Can you stand a bit closer together, ladies, please?
Yes, of course.
Can I ask you what you hope to achieve by all this?
Well, as you might expect from a campaign to attract more women into the surgical profession, we're hoping to save the wombat from extinction and have the town of Bootle fenced off as a nature reserve.
I think I meant, what kind of response do you expect?
Well, it's difficult to say. Becoming a surgeon requires enormous dedication over a long period of time. Obviously, for a woman, that presents particular problems. What Renee, Julia, and myself are saying is that these problems can be overcome.
You haven't said what the problems are.
No, I said they were obvious. Who do you write for, the Beano or the Dandy? What we are trying to impress upon women is that taking up surgery does not mean that you can't get married, have children...
Are you married?
...get divorced. Yes, it can be difficult. But any woman willing to make the effort will find that the rewards more than compensate. I got a tingle of satisfaction that I shall never forget when I removed my first prostate. The fact is that we need more female surgeons. And if those of us already in the profession give help and encouragement, then maybe in 10 years' time, operating departments will not be chock-a-block with golf putters and dandruff. Anybody like some more photographs? Should like a bit more leg.
That'll liven things up in geriatrics. Sheila, you never learn.
I know.
If you want to attract more women into surgery, you say, I would like to attract more women into surgery. Not, I very much enjoy whipping out prostates.
That was a joke. You won't print that. Ha! Well, I don't care. Anything that will bring attention to my campaign is fine by me.
Oh, all right. What's the problem? Well, firstly, I want you to know this is nothing to do with me. I've got enough on my plate with Sheila stirring all the men up.
Dandruff?
Now, as you know, there's always been a very strict rule in this department about not wearing too much jewellery.
Yes.
And as you know, no one gives the monkeys and we all wear what we like.
Yes.
We don't go mad. The odd subtle but tasteful bits and pieces from Hatton Garden.
You told me you got those on a cross-channel ferry.
Well, anyway, apparently there's been a complaint. So I've had a call from the people upstairs and they say that the rule has now got to be enforced, which I'll have to do.
Well, I think you're being silly.
Why?
Well, just because you've got quite a round face, it doesn't mean you have to wear earrings. All the magazines say, if you have a slight jowl problem...
Jowl problem?
All you have to do are a few simple exercises. Look. You don't have to wear earrings.
No one said anything about me wearing too much jewellery. It clearly said surgical staff.
Well, I haven't got any jewellery.
Well, it's not you either. It's him. Mind you, personally, I think a gold chain looks very nice on a man. They have to have the right kind of chest, of course. Firm, muscular, with a nice covering of rough, curly hair.
Excuse me.
But it wasn't my decision.
That chain was a present from me, and he would rather lose his job than take it off. Wouldn't you?
Hi, George. Have you seen this? Sheila Sabatini is saying we've all got scalp problems.
Ah, yes. Furious outburst from the Queen of the Prostates, I believe it said in my paper.
George, she didn't say that. I was there.
I had hoped your calming influence would change your attitude to the male of the species. I mean, what's all this nonsense about more female surgeons?
Oh, what's wrong with that?
That chap, false eyelashes, lockets, hair grips. When a woman bends over a patient, there's no telling what's going to fall off. I quite accept they can be helpful in anaesthetics. My wife, for example, could knock out a football crowd with her perfume. But the inescapable fact is that they do and always will get pregnant.
So?
So, how can they cauterize a nasal polyp if they have to stand 4 feet away?
George, this is the 1990s.
Precisely. Women now have control over their bodies. They can time these things with pills and bits of equipment.
My wife's been doing that for years. 2 Valium and a cricket bat by the bed.
Well, it's not often I find myself agreeing with Sheila Sabatini, but this campaign of hers gets my wholehearted seal of approval.
Good, and to prove that my sounding off to the newspapers wasn't just a lot of hot air, I'd like to introduce my new house surgeon, Sheila Banerjee.
Well, just
My
let me...
dear lady, I'm charmed to meet you. Now, any problems whatsoever, don't hesitate to come to me for advice. It's going to be such a pleasant change having a woman about the place. Yes, well...
You'll get used to George. Actually, he's a real mine of information.
Yes, unfortunately one of his pit props collapsed and trapped a mule close to his mouth. This is Dr. Manderson.
Hi.
Hi. Oh, Joyce, I'd like to introduce
Yes,
my
we've
new...
met.
Oh.
Now, I hope you're not going to wear those in theatre.
Oh, certainly not. No one with any taste would wear opal clip-ons to resect a colon.
I'm just doing my job. And what have you got under there?
A tattoo of Joanna Lumley.
We've had a complaint about surgical staff wearing too much jewellery. I think it's a bit petty myself, but everyone's been very understanding.
I'm warning you. If you take that chain off, the only thing we'll be having on Friday night is fish.
Excuse me.
I'm not questioning any woman's capacity to be a surgeon. I'm just saying you're not taking much of a chance. I mean, Banerjee was the medical school's most outstanding student last year.
I see. So when I needed a new house surgeon, I should have chosen some dribbling dingbat with the IQ of a tea bag.
No. They were all snapped up by gynecology.
Look, I'm not trying to prove that all women make good surgeons. I'm just trying to prove that being a woman doesn't disqualify them. I remember all the sarcastic comments when I first started.
Like what?
When I'd sewn up a patient, I might embroider a few daffodils round the edge. At the end of the day, I'd take all the instruments home and give them a buffing up with a brasso. I don't see what's so funny.
No, you're right.
I had to put up with that rubbish for years.
Listen, you don't have to talk to me about prejudice. I didn't always have these 150 quid frames, you know. When I was at school, I looked like the Milky Bar Kid, and believe me, doling out satchel loads of chocolate was the only way to stay alive.
I'm just trying to make my point. Sheila Banerjee is fresh out of medical school, and if she gets help and encouragement from all you men, then I predict a very, very bright future. If, on the other hand, she doesn't, then I predict the longest ever queue outside a surgical support shop.
Right.
Michael, would you answer a very important question?
If I can.
Since you started wearing that, what are they now using to anchor the QE2?
I can't believe I took that long to get scrubbed up.
Yes, it would help if you could be a little faster, Jamila.
Yeah, let's say 3.5 hours maximum, eh? Did anybody manage to find that soap?
It was under the diathermy.
Yes, well, it's slippery stuff, isn't it? It's no wonder it shot across the room like a clay pigeon. If I bring an air rifle in tomorrow, it'll give us something to do while you scrub up.
Jonathan.
I expect it was just nerves.
No, I wasn't nervous.
Excuse me, can you see where I'm working here?
Not really, no.
Neither can I. Would you mind pulling a little harder on that retractor?
Sorry.
No, it's all right. It's just that we removed a section of this gentleman's bowel. And I'm now trying to join up the two ends. And it's rather like trying to mend a video. If I join either end to the wrong place, then he may pause when he wants to fast forward, and he may not ever eject again.
Right. I notice you don't wear your mask over your nose. Is that acceptable now?
If you keep retracting in the wrong direction, I might as well wear mine pulled up to my eyebrows.
Doesn't really matter how Dr. Haston wears his mask.
Because it's further away from the patient.
No, because there's no one to tell him he can't do it.
Oh, I see.
It is more than I can. Now, will you please stop talking to people and concentrate? When a patient is on the table, then nothing else matters. If Dr. Haslam wants to wear his mask rolled up and shoved in his left ear, you look there. If the Queen comes in, you do not drop everything and curtsy, even if she's on a horse. Earthquakes, hurricanes, tidal waves, the after effects of a Duff chili burger. When you are operating on another human being, you give him your undivided attention. Apart from that, you're doing very well. Now, just pull harder on the
Hang on, Sheila. She touched her face.
What?
I'm sorry, that retractor's dirty now.
Surely you didn't.
I think I might have done.
You'll have to re-scrub. Sister, would you mind helping out?
I'll get scrubbed up again.
She's a nice girl. Manager, I mean.
Yes, I think so.
Cheerful, enthusiastic,
Yes.
irresponsible,
Jonathan.
cack-handed.
Now, look.
If she's got the makings of a good surgeon, I'm Bilbo Baggins.
It's only your first day.
Exactly. God knows what we've got to look forward to tomorrow. If she can do that with a piece of soap, what can she do with a scalpel? Whoa! Hey! We've seen it all before 100 times. An academically brilliant kid who has not got the temperament for surgery.
And you know that already.
All right, you can't always tell in the first 5 minutes.
No, you can't. George Hope Wynne has been a consultant surgeon since the Black Death, and I still think he'd be more use reinforcing a viaduct. We both know that some people improve with time.
I'm just saying, don't make a big thing out of Banerjee, because you may come a cropper.
Well, in case you hadn't noticed, I've already made a big thing of her.
There you are. You know she's not going to make it.
That's not true.
We have done 5 operations this morning. She's de-sterilised herself twice. She can't stop yakking. And we are not here now because you fancy a cuppa. Work has ground to a halt because she's disappeared.
She's answering a call of nature.
What, for 15 minutes? Where's she gone? Yellowstone Park?
I'm so sorry about that. Could I possibly have a glass of water?
Yes, I think there's some in there.
You got a bug or something?
No, I'm fine. I think I'm just a bit pregnant.
Joyce.
I was just, So, Banerjee's pregnant, then?
Who told you?
Bloke on the chip fryer in the canteen.
Morning. I've had a message from Nurse Bowley. The nurse Sinclair's got flu again, so I've had to do a bit of switching round. I hope there are no problems.
No, that seems to be all right.
Good. I didn't think there would be.
I don't think it creates any obstacles.
What?
Banerjee having a baby.
So you can't see anything wrong with a surgeon getting pregnant?
Well, I think I'd draw the line at George Hope Wynne.
I just wondered.
Why?
Well, we all know your views on breeding. You tried it once and that was enough. Which isn't very nice for Jonathan because it...
Not very nice because what?
Well, look, now that you two are practically engaged, you might suddenly find he's getting a bit broody.
Broody?
Well, it wouldn't surprise me. We all know Jonathan's had his fair share of girlfriends.
Well, which particular deep-fat fryer told you that?
You. But now he's decided to settle down with you. And in my experience, that can only mean one thing. He wants to start a family.
What do you mean there's a name missing?
Well, Mr. Harris came in yesterday expecting to have his hemorrhoids fixed. And I came down expecting to find his name on the list.
So, where is it? Look, go and tell Mr. Harris we've had to cancel it.
Oh, I'd rather someone else told him. We've already cancelled it twice, and he's quite a big man.
Well, the hemorrhoids ought to slow him down a bit.
I just think he might get upset because I've been starving him since 7 o'clock last night.
Giles, whose fault is this?
I accept full responsibility.
I know, you normally do. I sometimes think you like getting slapped about by Sheila.
Oh, no. I just think that if I'm honest and say it was Jamila's fault, I'll get slapped about even more.
It's going to be a really tough day for you, isn't it? Did you hear that? What's up?
Nothing.
I am not trying to make trouble.
Yes, you are.
If she can wear them, we can all wear them. That's how we know we're living in a democracy.
I mean, wonder why advanced life forms have never bothered getting in touch with us.
Have you heard the news?
News?
Been here 48 hours and she's pregnant already.
Oh, yes. So, by your reckoning, it happened sometime yesterday.
My dear chap, now, I was given to understand that women could control these things, and all they had to worry about was a strike in the pharmaceutical industry or a sudden visit from an archangel.
George, there is no problem. Let me explain what happens in these circumstances. The young lady in question will continue working right up until the last minute. She will then nip off down a corridor and be momentarily surrounded by a maternity sister shouting, push, push. Having produced one or more bundles of joy, she will have a well-earned rest of about 35 minutes and will then make her way back here to knock off a cholecystectomy and 2 spleens before lunch. So the fact that she's pregnant will not affect her work, which I'm sure will continue to be absolute rubbish.
Rubbish?
Oh, good Lord, yes. Apparently, Mrs. Sabatini's protégé has a wonderful brain, but the concentration of a midge, and all the organisational skills of Little Bo Peep.
The anaesthetic department regrets to announce the cancellation of yet another patient.
That's a joke.
It is not. And if it carries on like this, we might as well all take up gherkin pickling.
What have you done now?
I don't think I've done...
Can't blame Giles for everything.
I don't, but it's a very good bet 99 times out of 100.
Who was it supposed to tell me if that patient's haemoglobin was below 11?
Well, how should I know? Tarka the otter.
You know who? The one with an IQ of about 4 million, the common sense of a roll-top desk.
Jonathan.
Current record holder of the European All-Comers Soap-Flinging Championship.
Well, I never.
Yes, awfully bad luck.
Bad luck?
Well, as you see, teetering on the edge of the hole. Would you hold this?
Sheila said she was wonderful.
Jonathan, anyone can make a mistake. Oh,
Everything poodling along nicely?
yes, thank you.
I must say that young lady of yours is most charming.
Yes, apparently quite phenomenal from a surgical point of view.
She's very competent, yes.
You said she was hopeless.
I did not say she was hopeless. I was simply passing on the unreliable first impressions of about 63 other people.
Then you will be very glad to hear that she is not hopeless.
There you are. That's right.
No, she's hopeless.
Jonathan, that girl is headed for very big things.
Sheila, in 9 months' time, that girl will be a very big thing.
That girl has the potential to reach the highest heights of surgery. I am very pleased with her performance so far, and I am sick to death of all this petty carping just because she made 1 or 2 insignificant and totally understandable mistakes.
So she is hopeless then.
Look, Sheila, this is daft.
Why?
Well, I've stayed with you every night this week, and now you're dumping me back at my place just because we've had a slight disagreement.
It's nothing to do with that.
You realise I've got nothing in the fridge?
Jonathan, you never have anything in the fridge. Whenever you invite me round for a meal, I have to stop off at the Star of India to pick it up.
Oh, God. I could murder a biryani.
Good, we'll just stun mine. I'll drop round and lynch it properly tomorrow.
Why?
I just want time to think things over. On my own, about you and me.
Are you having second thoughts?
I don't know. That's what I'm going home to think about.
Can't you think about it here? Well, out loud?
Jonathan, I have given birth to 1 child.
I know. Daniel.
And I discovered that I'm not the type to sit in front of a cot going goo-goo and gaga.
Sheila...
I'm not having any more children, and if that is your intention, then you and I are going to have very big problems.
I don't...
Never again will I stumble out of bed 6 times a night to attach a wet, screaming infant to my chest. Neither am I going to sit in front of one with a spoonful of mashed rusk saying, "Here it comes, here it comes."
Sheila...
There's no point arguing. I am not going through all that again. Having all my clothes let out when it's on its way and taken in when it's out. Staggering up to a supermarket checkout with a basket full of apricot custard, which 4 hours later I'd be scraping off its undercarriage. I don't like it. I might consider adoption, but only if it's over 21 and a managing director of a merchant bank. So there you are.
Where?
Pardon?
Sheila, have I ever intimated that I wanted children?
Joyce said...
I'm not Joyce. Joyce is another person. If there's any help, she's the one with the big mouth. The prospect of you and me having kids has never entered my head.
Look, have you got the number of that curry house? I think I could just
Just a minute,
manage...
I haven't
look,
finished
all
it.
right, I'm sorry. I apologise. I should have asked before I jumped to any wild conclusions. But since we're both agreed that neither of us want children...
I didn't
there's
say
no
that.
want- But you just said that...
I didn't say I didn't want any. I said the thought had never entered my head. But now it has. The thought of little Sheilas and
Oh,
Jonathans.
get the curry.
Do you know what your trouble is?
No, tell me.
You can't accept failure. You listen to me, please. You don't want any more kids. Because you might make the same mistakes as you made with Daniel, and it scares you stiff.
Oh.
It's like that girl at work. Everyone else knows she's a flop. She couldn't make the highest heights of surgery if you tied her to Thunderbird 3. But you won't admit that. Oh, no, she's going to be another Sheila Sabatini, as if one wasn't enough. Because she's a woman, you will not admit you've made a prize pig's breakfast of a choice. Anyway, what about that curry?
Joyce? Joyce, have you seen this?
Sheila's baby. Sheila's baby?
No, calm down.
I will not calm
No,
down.
Joyce, it's
Oh,
not-
you've really hurt me this time. Your closest friend. I could have traded a hot snippet like this for all the gossip in the Northern Hemisphere.
Joyce, that is not a reference to my being pregnant. It's an interview they've done with Jamila Banerjee.
Sheila Sabatini was a hero to all of us at medical school. The women, that is. She scared the pants off all the men.
Yes, well...
It's funny. When I was a girl, I never dreamed of being an air hostess or a fashion designer. I always wanted to be a surgeon as far back as I can remember. And everyone said that wasn't possible. You had to be a man.
Yeah.
I must have cried myself to sleep every night for months. It's awful the way people tread on your dreams like that.
Oh, come on, Joyce. It's not the grapes of wrath.
I want to read the rest.
Well, it just says some nice things about me.
You've seen it then?
Yes. Thank you for the compliments.
I'm a hopeless surgeon, aren't I?
Yes, you're absolutely terrible.
I thought so.
Well, it may be that I'm not a very good teacher.
I still feel like I've let you down.
Joyce!
Well, I'm sorry. Anyway, it's my office.
Hi. Apparently, Nurse Bowley has now caught the flu off Nurse Sinclair, so we've had to make a few changes.
Excuse me. And I want my chain back.
You told me that was a symbol of our undying love.
That was last Wednesday.
Why didn't you tell me you were pregnant?
I thought you might not take me on.
Yeah. Ah, well. It's not a disaster. You've just chosen the wrong direction, that's all. We'll muscle our way through this year, and then at the end, if you want to, you can change from surgery to medicine.
I've got something to show you.
I think you're going to have a brilliant career.
Thank you.
Come on.
Excuse me.
You've done what? All right, I've left it rolled up on a chair.
Thank you.